Hi, welcome. Today we will see the other minor pieces endgame. So we've already taken a look to bishop against rook when it's possible to win, to draw, and when it's possible, it isn't possible to draw. And today we will see knight against rook. So of course, it's uncommon to see the knight winning the rook, but as this first exercise shows, if you play with black, of course, this move wins. So imagine if you're playing an official game and doesn't matter the position. If the white player loses by time, yes, you will win the game because exists one possibility of giving checkmate. Of course, this is very uncommon, but it's possible. So most times, almost 82%, I think, of the games finishes on a draw. So it's complicated to convert these kind of games. We will see what is the theory to convert this kind of endgames, and if you're playing with the knight, how can you draw? So let's jump to our video. And wait. Almost 87% of the viewers. Why don't you like me? I'm a great person and I need your help. So it's quick, it's free. You just need to click on the red, that thing on the corner, and Google will make a very big party with fireworks, this kind of stuff. And why should you help me? Simple, because I want to help you. So it's, yeah. I help you, you help me, everybody will be happy, and it's free, so it's quick, so don't forget, subscribe, and if you're enjoying the video, push the like button. So let's continue. So about this kind of endgames, what is the theory? Well, it's quite simple. To win, you need to have the knight and the king separated from each other. So we will solve 5 different exercises. And I want you to tell me if the position is winnable, if it's won, or if it's draw. So, first important thing, of course, to win, the knight needs to be separated from the king. You see? Second thing, the knight needs to be poorly placed. Normally, when they talk about a knight poorly placed is at the corner or near the corner. In this case, yes, this isn't the best position for this knight, but because of the fact that this knight is near the king, this position is draw. So here is black to play, and we will push the king near the knight. And the truth is that this is too complicated to convert. It's impossible if black plays correctly. For example, if rook gives check, we will play again the king. And this isn't available, so he can try to give checkmate, for example, this kind of stuff. And yeah, you don't need to be worried about, because even, for example, king to a6 and rook checks, the king will be always playing near the knight. So important. The knight has a very interesting role in this kind of endgames, because to win with white, it's important to have the opposition. You need to win the opposition too. And because of the fact that the knight is near the king, the knight is always preventing the opposition from the opponents. And for this reason, this will be too complicated. So, for example, rook b1, we can repeat. So, king to a6. And imagine, this king can try to play here. But if this happens, you can continue, for example, with knight check. Why not? Oh, but, well, here the king is doing opposition. Yeah, true, but knight again, and how will you convert that? So it isn't possible. Don't forget, this talking about the defensive stuff. So if you want to draw, put your king near the knight, and please don't put the knight at the corner. You're going to lose. Next example. Second example is this one. And well, and this one is interesting because Okay, the king is near the knight, and for the viewers that want to draw and they don't know how to react if the king is on the center with the knight, well, it's easy, it's the same. So we just need to play always with the knight near the king. So, for example, here it's black, so we will give a check because we can. If the king plays here, we repeat the check. And don't forget, 15 moves without taking pieces or without promotions will lead to a draw. So you already won 2 moves. So after king here, for example, you are going to repeat. And if the king plays here, you can play king to f5. It's too easy to play this kind of stuff because the rook cannot check. He can, but you're going to take the rook. And if the rook tries to block the path to the knight, you don't need to be worried about. You can play several different stuff. Here I like, for example, knight to f4 because the knight is still near the king. And of course, slowly white can push the king to a side of the chessboard. But in the end, you won't be having any problems. For example, king here, you can repeat this check, king here, check again, and if the king plays here, you can play this again. And rook checks, you can always play king here. So your goal in this kind of positions is to try to maintain the king the longer on the center. And this will lead to more moves, and with more moves your opponent will have less moves to win the game. So it's very, very easy. So first and second position, completely draw. Next position, let's go. And well, the next position is interesting too. And this one I want you to evaluate because, okay, here we need to see, is this draw, is this one, what's happening right now? And here important, it's black to play. And this is the case where the knight is poorly placed because the knight is at the corner. And you don't want this knight to be at the corner because with just one simple move, you can win the game. Because here, for example, after king plays to c3, the thing is that this knight doesn't have any square. And the truth is that white is at the zugzwang. So this means that if he plays, he will lose the game. Because, for example, king here, you're going to give checkmate in one move. And if the knight plays here, of course, we are going to take, and in the end, we will give checkmate. I need to create a video about the checkmate with king and rook against king. I'm going to do that because I want you to have all the materials. This, of course, for the beginners, players that start playing a few months or this month or yesterday. So, and the next variation can be this one, and of course rook takes, king here, king here, king here. I lose a tempo and I give checkmate. So easy stuff. So this one is lost for white because the knight is at the corner. Very important. I have 2 more positions. These first positions are too easy, too simple for most of the viewers. Now I want to push a little bit more. So in this case, we are playing with white. And first thing, we need to evaluate if the knight is near the king. What do you think? Nope. The knight is too far away from this guy. This guy. So, because of this fact, yes, it's possible to win. Most players, they fail and they start giving checks, and this helps the opponent to push the king near the knight. So, the strategy is just to try to win the knight. And to do this, you need to control the squares of the knight. So this knight is able to play here, 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 and here. Okay, these are the squares where the knight can play. So here, my suggestion is just For example, after black plays, my suggestion is just to play, for example, rook to b7. And then we can see another alternative if black plays to other side. For example, this move and this one, they aren't available because of this check. I will win the knight. The other one too. So, of course, the king is controlling those squares. And these are possible ideas. So, after, for example, knight plays, the corner looks very bad because I don't need to do nothing because the rook is controlling the squares of the knights. I just need to push my king and I'm going to win the game. And if the knight plays, for example, to c8, here it's the same because this is being controlled by the rook and those squares are being controlled by the king. So after king here, the game is completely won. So the knight will fall. So, okay. This is everything too beautiful, everybody's happy, but black has played on this direction. What if black plays, for example, knight here? Yeah, we need to play this kind of stuff with precision. So here, my suggestion is just to give check with the rook. We want to control always the squares. For example, king here, of course, we win. And if king plays on this direction, well, we can try to play, for example, rook d3. What is the goal? Simple. After I play rook d3, I'm controlling this square and this square with the rook. And my king is controlling the other squares. So don't forget, I want to give this check too. So because of that, the idea is to push away the knights and win this endgame. It isn't easy, but we are fighting to do that. So, for example, king here isn't available, this one isn't available, and let's see, if the king plays over there, well, we will be able to play our king, and if the knight plays here, is being separated from the king. So here we can continue, for example, with, let me see, the rook is controlling this square. So I can play, for example, here. It's interesting. Why is that? Because if knight plays here, this square is important, so I'm going to play rook to d7. And I will control this square. And if knight, for example, plays here, I can play, let me see, king to b4. I think it's interesting, king b4, because knight here, these are the two squares. You need to think with prophylaxis because you're always thinking about the next move of your opponent. Here, for example, rook d8 and it's done. The rook are controlling all of those squares and you're going to win. Are you seeing? It's incredible. It's very beautiful. And if the knight plays here, well, this is being controlled, everything is being controlled. So I think rook here solves everything. Interesting, no? Because rook is controlling those two squares and the king is controlling those two squares. So this game is completely won for white. Yeah, imagine you're playing this position with just a few seconds on the clock. It will be almost impossible to convert this game. But with some time on the clock, yeah, I think you're going to be able to win this game. Last position, this one. Again, let's evaluate first the position. Is the knight near the king? You need to evaluate this quickly in 2 or 3 seconds. And the answer is yes, he is far away from the king. So because of that, we can convert this position. So first, we need to check what are the squares that this knight wants to play. So the king is controlling those two squares. This one isn't available and that one isn't available too because of this check. So this is a possible move and this one. Of course, because of that, we want first to play rook to e2. And rook e2 will control this one, these two are controlled, and this one is controlled because of the check. So because of that, okay, knight at the corner is a possibility, and this doesn't look very well because we will close slowly all the squares of the knight, and after that this is almost won because knight here, king closes. Why here and not there? Because here the knight runs, and here we are controlling all the squares, so this knight needs to be pushed, and after that we close again, and it's completely won. Oh, okay, but what if the knight plays differently, or what if the knight doesn't play at all? For example, king plays here. This is an alternative. Well, here we can play, for example, let me see. I like rook e7 because this will force my opponent to answer. So I'm controlling those squares, those two. This isn't available because of the check, and the knight again is at the corner. Now we close, so I can close by this direction or by this direction. So I probably will play this one, and okay, the king can attack. Okay, but is this a problem? On the I want you to think a little bit. If you want, you can put on pause. This is very easy because on the next move, you will be able to win the knight. How would you play right now? Think a little bit. It's easy. So the answer is quite easy. Rook to a7, and the rook is attacking the knight. The king is controlling this square, and the rook is controlling the other square. Because of that, this game is completely won. So rook takes, and the rest is history. So very simple. Well, with that, we close the chapter of the minor pieces for now. The beginner, intermediate, endgames. So in the future, of course, we will see more defying positions for advanced players and even masters. And today, I'm not sure, probably we will not do the other video, but from now at Saturdays, we will be putting 2 videos here on the channel. So you will want to be here at the same hour tomorrow to be one of the beautiful, one of my, it's almost one of my favorite chess games of ever. I don't know how to express myself because the game is so beautiful that I want to cry. It's beautiful because, well, I want you to see. I don't want to talk more about this game because the game has been played yesterday, and it's super aggressive. One of the top players of the world has lost with violence, and of course, if we have attacking chess and chess with brilliance and beautiful chess, we need to see here. And the other video will be about openings. So, of course, another gambit. So you will want to be here because the gambit that we will see tomorrow, I'm sure that you don't know this gambit, and it's playable, it's interesting, it's sharp, and you're going to create problems to white, even though white plays d4. So another interesting approach for black. So thanks again if you're still here over there seeing the video. Thanks a lot for the support, and till tomorrow, don't forget, at the same hour we will be here to talk a little more about chess. Bye bye, till tomorrow.